Hey guys, Zane here. Glad to see you guys are enjoying these so far, and I plan to keep them coming. Today, as the title would imply, I'm going to be talking about a question I got from a friend in reference to this game. You're an in-game player. Why do you still play Genshin? Now, what he actually said was closer to, why do you still play that terrible game? You didn't even get Venti. And to that I said, don't remind me. But the gist of the question is basically the same. From my own experience and what I've seen from others, there are four main reasons in-game players stick around, and I'll go over them all. To be perfectly clear, not all in-game players are the same. We don't like all the reasons equally, and some in-game players actually dislike one or more of these reasons. But overall, it's what I've seen keep people around. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Waifus, and/or husbandos. Of course, this video wouldn't be complete without me talking about the characters themselves, and so I think I'll start with them. The character design in this game is just phenomenal. Like, Billy, who works 8 hours a week, and 8 hours a week is not a lot. Okay, he works, 8 hours an hour. Okay, he is hard at work. Billy is hard at work in his little Genshin facility where he's looking at his test tubes. He's designing the perfect character, and he was like, all right, Billie Jean, who's not my girl that is watching this video, they like X, Y with a hint of Z thrown in. We've got to create this character, and then they will be most susceptible. And they have done that for every human being who could ever and might ever play Genshin. Because no matter what you like, it's in this game. Looking for the MILF frame? Lisa is right there. Cute, driven, and slightly ditzy but fun-loving girl. Amber and Zhanling are right there, although I will say I think you're a bit basic. Femboys? Well, let me introduce you to best boy, Venti. You can fight me on that. My point is, no matter what you like, it's probably in the game. This also ties into the gacha, another element that keeps a lot of people around. Chasing the high of rolling your favorite character. You're grinding out your primos every day just to have a small chance of getting them. In the end, when you're done playing the game, will you have gotten them? Probably not, let's be honest, unless you have a lot of money. But even if you don't, all the characters are extremely pleasing to play with and look at. Even when you get to late game, most of us don't get tired of them, or even the art style overall. Speaking of the art style, let's talk about the world of Genshin itself. The world! It's no secret if you've watched any of my videos that I think the world of Genshin looks pretty amazing. There are times you stumble upon a perfect view. You find the bench the devs placed for you because they knew you want it. And then you just sit there and admire it for a few seconds. Like, it might just be some pixels, but dang are they some good looking pixels. Even when you've played the game for a long time, they've made so many of these amazing views. Even at AR-52, oh god, I'm a Genshin boomer, you still find one or two new ones you never knew about. Of course, the world doesn't just look nice, it's also got a lot of hidden secrets to stumble upon. Only in the past few weeks do I think I can finally say I've stumbled upon 99% of them. Sometimes there's a chest hidden behind a waterfall, or maybe a puzzle spanning 3 ruins without a word of dialogue about them. The world just feels full, and it keeps a lot of us around. Now, let's move on to something that doesn't keep as much of us around, but for the people who like it, oh, we like it. I'm of course talking about min-maxing in the Abyss, so let's get into it. Min-maxing and Genshin Impact. This reason, more than any other, only applies to some of us late-game players, but that doesn't make it any less valid. Let's start off by talking about the artifact grind, and I do mean grind. It is honestly a slog sometimes. The trade-off for grinding weeks to get artifacts you like is, of course, power level in the game. To some, the idea of grinding to get marginally more powerful in a game may seem crazy, and I'll be the first to admit it's not for everyone. But that feeling of putting in the work and feeling it slowly pay off as you get more powerful is definitely worth it to us. And for many of us, it's the biggest factor keeping us here. You know, when you go from being absolutely terrified of the Spiral Abyss and being like, oh my god, I could die if they cough on me wrong, whatever shall I do? To going to level 100 Mafia boss where you stumble in there and still die because you're bad, but at least you feel confident and your numbers are bigger, and that is all that really matters. Of course, for some of us that are actually good at the game and good at min-maxing, you have those clips you see online where someone spends their entire livelihood grinding to get the perfect artifact set, perfect weapons, and they just, one-shot a boss that takes most of us 2 minutes. But even if that's not you, you could still enjoy the feeling of kind of getting more powerful as you play the game, even if you're not grinding long hours into the night. Which I think is a good thing. The feeling powerful, not grinding long hours into the night. I don't want to know how much resin that would cost, and by extension, how many dollars. Anyways, I am rambling. Let's talk about events. Yes, that is what we're doing. That tangent aside, the final reason so many of us in-game players stick around is, of course, the events. There are a lot of in-game players who barely play Genshin until the new event rolls around, and they come back to the game to try it out. This is because most of Genshin's in-game really doesn't have that much content yet, and so even the more meh events can feel refreshing to play simply because it's new. Don't get me wrong, I'm still salty about the delivery event and events like that, but most others, even if not great, feel nice to in-game players simply because it was something new to do that is not whatever dungeon we're grinding at this point in time. Events also give a lot of resources, something in-game players also really want, because without content to do, you can't get rewards for doing said content, so you're just kind of in this stasis until they add a new event or add a new area. Then you go immediately pilfer all the goods, and you're back where you started. Hopefully, that answers the question, and if you, yes you who's watching this, have a question, feel free to ask me in the comments, and if it's something I'm interested in talking about, I'd love to do a video on it. Either way, have a good day y'all, bye bye.